Welcome everyone to today's live session on demonstration of virtual labs on DIKSHA and ePathshala AR content. Before going to the resources, I would like to tell you that why we are studying about virtual labs. What's the need? What is the importance of virtual labs? So NEP 2020 recommended creation of virtual labs so as to ensure that every child gets the opportunity to practice, to perform experiments from any corner of India. Whether the child has the resources, whether the child has the facility of actual physical laboratory or not, every child should be able to get this opportunity to perform experiments and to understand the concepts in a better way. And that's why we have developed virtual labs vertical on DIKSHA. So now we are going to demonstrate what all resources are there which are available on ePathshala AR app and on virtual labs on DIKSHA, so that you can perform, you can practice experiments in a better way. First of all, I would like to invite my colleague Dr. Yash Paul Sharma to demonstrate about ePathshala AR content. Over to Dr. Yash Paul Sharma.
Thank you very much, Nidhi. So, as Nidhi has talked about that as per the NEP 2020, which initiates the use of the various technology that is currently available for commercial purpose, but that technology can be demonstrated for teaching learning processes like augmented reality, virtual reality, 3D animations, artificial intelligence, and etc. So today I will be demonstrating the content that we have developed in augmented reality, and we have developed the content for class 9th and 10th, and we have started with the science subjects. So let me demonstrate. We have a ePathshala AR app which is available on the Play Store. So if you go to Play Store, so this is the ePathshala AR app which you can install on your mobile phone, and currently this is available only for Android users, but definitely we will have for iOS in the coming time. Okay, so I will be demonstrating the various resources which are available under this app. So this app has a very simple menu. Like you can choose the class, which class you want to teach. As I said that we have the content from the class 9th and 10th. So let me choose the class 9th, and then you can choose the subject. Okay, so we have divided the science into physics, chemistry and biology because the teachers are teaching in this way in the class. So let me choose the biology, and then out of this you can choose the different chapters. So currently the for example chapter 5, and within chapter 5 we have mapped the different images which are available. Say for example you are teaching about the cell, which is available in your class 9th and chapter 5. Okay, so you are teaching the structure of cell. So you need to download this small simulation. It's about 5 MB from the app, and then you need to open your textbooks. Okay, because you need to scan that particular image, which is a 5.5, and you see that this is the textbook of class 9th. Okay, so now this is a chapter 5 and this is the image. When we scan this image, you will see the simulation will live.
Figure 5.5. This is an animal cell. It lacks a cell wall. Each cell contains several organelles. Tap on an organelle in the list to know its structure and function.
Okay, so now the simulation is live. You need to perform that. So we have a small menu over there. You can click on the menu. So for example, you wanted to know about the nucleus. So click on the nucleus.
Look inside the nucleus to observe the chromatin fibers and the nucleolus floating in the nucleoplasm.
Okay, so you can zoom in inside to see the nucleoplasm and the nucleolus. Then go back and click on another organelle like centriole.
Centriole helps during division of cells.
then go back and choose another organelle. You will be able to select any structure.
Mitochondria, called the powerhouse of cell, as it produces the energy required by a cell.
Okay, so go back. So like way, when you download any content, your camera will automatically open and you need to scan that particular image which is going to be augmented by using the 3D softwares and simulations, and it is available to see and perform the experiment. So let me perform some more experiment. So for example, the next demonstration is from class 10, and the chapter number 10, it's a light reflection and refraction. So let me open the same chapter and now open the app and scan that.
Objective: to perform an activity to observe what happens when a ray of light is incident parallel to the principal axis in spherical mirrors. Click on the continue button to continue.
Okay, so we have the AR camera. If you click on this one, the background will change. Now you don't need to over your mobile phone on that image. You can perform it seamlessly out of that image. So now it's very interactive. You can interact with this. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can rotate it to any side to see the structure. Okay, so now click on the continue button to continue. And if you want to hide this description, we have the icon below. If you click on this one, the description will hide. Okay, so it's up to you.
Ray of light. A ray is a path of a light wave represented by a line with an arrow. The arrow indicates the direction in which light is traveling. Beam of light. A bundle of rays of light is called a beam of light. Principal axis. It is a line passing through the center of curvature C and pole P of the mirror. Since principal axis passes through the center of curvature, it is normal to the surface of the mirror. Click on the continue button to continue.
So now you discuss about the various definition which is given over there. Now click to continue.
Click on any button from the side panel to learn more about it.
Now you can perform the activity by using the convex or the concave mirror. So let me click on the concave mirror.
Concave mirror. Click on the highlighted button to make a ray incident parallel to the principal axis. Drag the slider to set the black screen where it gets the image of the reflected rays of light.
So you can move the slider.
Convex mirror. Click on the highlighted button to make a ray incident parallel to the principal axis. Convex mirror. A beam of light is incident parallel to the principal axis on a convex mirror. After reflection, a virtual, erect, and highly diminished image appears to be formed at the principal focus of the convex mirror. Click on the continue button to continue. Laws of reflection. 1. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. 2. The incident ray, the normal to the mirror at the point of incidence, and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane. Click on the continue. The real image is always obtained in front of the mirror, and the virtual image appears to be behind the mirror. Click on the continue button. Learning outcome. We can observe that a ray parallel to the principal axis after reflection will pass through the principal focus in the case of a concave mirror or appears to diverge from the principal focus in the case of a convex mirror.
So in this way, you can perform the various activity by using the augmented reality. So the 3D rendered video of these simulations are also mapped on the concept with the DIKSHA portal and app. So if you want to perform this experiment by using your mobile phone, you can use the ePathshala AR app. And if you want to see that video, so you can go to the particular chapter within the DIKSHA portal and app, and you can see there. So the content is freely available, and currently it's available in English. So you go through the Play Store, download the app, and enjoy this interactive content that we call the augmented reality. So now I'm inviting again Dr. Nidhi, so that to continue the session and show the various resources which are available on the virtual labs. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Yash. Before taking you to the resources, I would like to show you that what are the steps by which you can reach to virtual labs. So first of all, to find out where are virtual labs, we need to find out the website of DIKSHA. You have to go to Google Chrome or any browser and search diksha.gov.in. When you click on that website, you get this screen. On this screen, you can see that there are so many banners of various initiatives. We have to click on the last banner, that is of virtual labs. And when we click on the explore icon, we lead to the landing page of the virtual labs. As we scroll down, what do we find? We find information about virtual labs. So you can go through this information so that you can get to know what is the purpose, just like I discussed in the beginning of the session. The same thing you will find here. So you will have a clear idea of why we are having virtual labs on DIKSHA. If we scroll further, what do we find? We find various resources which are categorized class-wise. You can go to whatever class you wish to. Just click on the explore icon. So if I click on explore icon of class 9th, here we find that 2 medium of study are shown, Hindi and English medium. You can click on any. Right now you can click on English medium because resources right now are available on English medium. In future, resources will be available in Hindi medium as well. So you can choose the subject which you wish to. For example, I have clicked on science. Afterwards, if you are logging in for the first time, if you are going to this website for the first time, you have to log in. You have to fill this form. This will not take much time. Just choose board, medium of study, class. You can choose as many classes as you wish to. So for example, I have chosen these classes and then you have to submit. Here, remember to write your name so that next time you will not require to register again. So by this now you can see that all the resources are visible. On one corner, you can see that all the titles of the experiments are written, and on the other side the screen showing the content is visible. You can scroll down to find out the experiment you wish to study and you have to click on the experiment. Now I am going to one of the experiments that is of biology. So I have chosen experiment of class 12th. This experiment is about how to perform mitosis, how to study various stages of mitosis in onion root tip. So here you can see there is a link. I have to click on this link and it will lead me to another page which has various resources. Here you can see, first of all, we have theory. Why do we require theory? So as to provide you basic information about the concept related to this experiment. You can go through it so that you can understand animation, you can understand simulation in a better way. Afterwards, there is a procedure. So in procedure, first of all, materials required are shown. Not only their names are given, but their photograph is also given, so that you get to know how do they look. So materials required are given. Afterwards, procedure steps which are there in the procedure are included. First of all, real lab procedure is given. That means if you are in actual laboratory, physical laboratory, then what steps you are supposed to take, all those steps are written here. And after these steps, what do you find? You find procedure for simulator. Because you have simulator option in this website available on DIKSHA, that's why these steps are given, so as to make it easy for you to perform experiments on simulator. So you can read these steps and then you can perform experiment using simulator given at the top. I will talk about simulator, but before that I would like to introduce all the resources which are available. Next is animation. So animation is representing the same concept but in the form of a video that will increase interest of the user. So that's why animation is introduced. Then after going through all these resources, student can assess whether the student has understood the concept or not by answering all these MCQs. After answering these MCQs, you can click on the submit button. You will get to know whether the chosen answers are correct or incorrect. And according to that, you can go through the concepts again and improve your understanding. Then next is resources. In resources, for extra resources are given which gives you more information about the same concept. And the last one is feedback, in which you can write about what was your experience while using these resources, and on the basis of that we will try to improve the content if required. Now let's go to simulation. So I am clicking on simulator. First of all, what is the meaning of simulator? Simulator gives you the actual lab condition. Even if you do not have actual laboratory in your school, physical laboratory in your school, you still have this option of simulator. This will give you all the apparatus required to perform that experiment, and you will feel like you are actually performing the experiment and you will understand the concept. Now here, this is about study of mitosis in onion root tip. In this simulation, it is not shown that how that slide has to be prepared, because the major task in this experiment for students is to find out which stage they are not able to they do not easily identify various stages of mitosis. So by going through this simulator, students will understand what stage they will be able to identify various stages when they will actually perform the experiment. So let's perform this experiment. First of all, here you can see select objective lens is written. Low power and high power is given. First of all, I have chosen low power because we should start with low power so as to make sure that we are looking at the correct view. Now you can see here slide is kept. I have to drag it and put it on the stage of the microscope, and then I have to click on eyepiece. Now you can see that the view under the microscope is shown, and you can see that the cells at low power are visible but stages are not clearly visible. But what can we do? We can click on the course adjustment arrows. By clicking on the course adjustment arrows, we can adjust it at the correct position. So after trying to adjust it at the correct position, I can move it on various directions using slide adjustment. So I can click here. If I'm clicking here, you can see that it is moving to one side. So you can click on in any direction to move it the way you wish to. Now I'll take it to the high power. So I have clicked on high power. You can see that now the cells are zoomed in so that you can distinguish between various stages of mitosis, that is telophase, metaphase, anaphase, prophase. All these stages will be identifiable when you will zoom in. So we need to, you can click on the arrows of fine adjustment if you feel that the view is not clear. If the view is clear, then you do not require to click on the fine adjustment. Now, if you are not able to find any stage in that view, you can easily move the slide to any direction. As I told you already, you can click on these arrows, and by that you can easily move the slide to whichever direction you wish to. So here you can see that in this view, this anaphase is visible, not very clearly, but anaphase is visible. Metaphase is visible in various cells. So by showing metaphase in simulator, you can help students, or students can clear their doubts of how these stages appear under the microscope, because the diagram which is given in the book and actual cells which we observe under the microscope shows slight difference, because they are not able to understand that the cells are extremely small when we look into the microscope. So to help students understand this experiment in a better way, you can use this and show various stages. So I hope this experiment must be clear and its purpose must also be clear. Now let's go to next experiment, that is related to chemistry. I have taken you to class 9th chemistry experiment, conservation of mass. So I am clicking on this link just like I did in the previous experiment. I'll click on this link, and as you know what all resources are available, I'll directly jump onto simulator. So here, first of all, what is the law of conservation of mass? In a chemical reaction, you know that reactants and products are there. So whatever mass of reactants, the sum of mass of reactants remains the same. The total mass of reactants is equal to the total mass of products. This is what we want to show here. So here we have taken two reactants. One is, you can see on screen, or I think I should zoom it a bit so that it becomes more clear to you. So here you can see one of the reactant is sodium sulfate and the other reactant is barium chloride. So we are going to perform a chemical reaction between sodium sulfate and barium chloride, and we will get products, and we will see that mass of reactants and the final product remain same. So here all the steps are shown. You can read. A pop-up box or a dialog box has appeared. Click on the measuring cylinder containing sodium sulfate solution to pour it into the conical flask. So I just need to click on it and it will pour sodium sulfate on its own. Now I have to click on this measuring cylinder which is containing barium chloride solution to pour it into the 10 ml test tube. You can see test tube is kept inside the test tube stand. I just need to click on this measuring cylinder and it has poured the other reactant into the test tube. Now I have to click on this thread so that it will be tied on the test tube. Now here you can see next step has appeared. I have to click on this next step. Here the next direction is given. Click on the test tube to hang it in the conical flask. So you can see that the two reactants right now are kept together, but they are separated from different by using these different apparatus. Now I have to click on this. Now it is kept on the weighing balance. You can see, you can remember or write it. What is the mass right now? So we can see it is showing 150.2137 gram. So this is the total mass of both the reactants along with the apparatus, that is conical flask, test tube, thread. So overall mass is 150.2137 gram. Now I have to click on this conical flask so that the two reactants mix with each other and chemical reaction can take place. You can see it has tilted so that the reactant from the test tube has entered in the conical flask and chemical reaction has occurred. I have to click on the conical flask once again. I have to click it, and now if you remember, earlier the mass which we noticed and now the mass shown are same, 150.2137 gram. This shows that the mass is still the same even though chemical reaction has taken place. So to know inference of the reaction of the experiment, click on this I. Here you can see it is written, since the mass of the total apparatus remains the same before and after the reaction, the total mass of the reactants is equal to the total mass of the products. Hence, the law of conservation of mass is verified. So this is how we can perform this experiment or any experiment. As I told you, all the steps are given in the procedure already. You can read them and you can perform them. They are very easy to perform. You can click on reset and your experiment is ready to be performed once again. Now, I would like to invite my colleague, Ms. Chinti, to explain simulation related to physics. Over to Ms. Chinti.
Hello, good evening everyone. A very warm welcome to all. As you have seen the demonstration of the chemistry and the biology, I am going to present the physics experiment Ohm's law of class 12. So here you can see the Ohm's law experiment. So without wasting time, I am directly going to this experiment. So here you can also see the theory, procedure, animation, video, simulation and resources feedback also. So I am directly going to the simulator. So here you can see the simulator window. So when we do the experiment in the lab, so we have to measure the length of the wire using the screw gauge, but here we can select directly. So first we select the metal. So here you can choose any metal of your choice. So here I am selecting the silver metal, and you can also vary the length of the wire by sliding. As well as the diameter of the wire. So let's start the experiment. So with the help of the circuit diagram, you can make a connection. So you can click on this checkbox. You can see the circuit diagram. So here you can see the positive end of the battery is connected to the positive end of the ammeter. So I will click on the positive end of the battery, and with the help of the mouse I will drag towards the positive end of the ammeter. So here you can see the terminal is connecting to via connecting wire. In the same way, negative end of the battery is connected to the positive end of the voltmeter, and the negative end of the voltmeter is connected to the upper end of the rheostat, and connect the lower end of the rheostat to the terminal of the one-way key, and the negative terminal is connected to the other end of the key. So once all the connections are made, we will connect the silver wire parallel to the voltmeter, as you can see here. So now all the connections are made. So we have to complete the circuit, we have to close the key. So I will drag the key and insert it into the switch, as you can see here. So you can see the readings in the ammeter and the voltmeter because circuit is complete now. So by dragging the rheostat, you can see the changes in the voltmeter and the ammeter. So here I am taking the reading of the voltmeter and the ammeter. below you can see the observation table where you can insert the reading of the voltage and the current. So here I am inserting the reading. Dragging the rheostat, you can see the reading of the voltmeter and the ammeter. So I am clicking on this table and inserting the reading. And it will calculate automatically the resistance of the wire. So similarly, in the same way, I can take 2-3 sets of a reading by varying the rheostat. So you can drag the rheostat like this. And you can see that it will automatically calculate the resistance, and which remains constant in every sets of the reading. Here you can see I have taken the 4 sets of a reading. With the help of these readings, we can draw a graph and find the resistance of the wire. So you can also get the graph by clicking on this chart icon. And now we want to calculate the resistivity of the wire. We have selected already the length of the wire. So with the help of this length of the wire, we can find the resistivity of the wire. And if we want to verify the resistivity of the wire, we can click on the show result. So it will show the resistivity of the silver wire. So you can verify from here. And if you want to repeat the experiment, you can click on the reset button. So you can redo the experiment. So this is all about the physics experiment. You can explore more experiment of the physics by exploring the other subjects also. So here I would like to invite Miss Pinky to demonstrate the mathematics experiment. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As my other colleagues have already introduced you and demonstrated you about the virtual lab and how you can access. So through virtual lab page, you can access mathematics laboratory experiments also. So from the page of virtual lab, you can go and select your class specific subject. I'm selecting a class 10th mathematics. So you can see a window is coming, and on your right side, table of content of all maths laboratory manual topics you can see in your right side. And there are a lot of experiments are available in the more experiment section. So on clicking on it, I am selecting a experiment of volume of a sphere. So once you go up, you'll see a PDF, and you have to click on this link. This will direct you on the online lab page. So here you can see the topic volume of a sphere and all the related resources. Like on the first tab, you can see theory related with this topic of volume of a sphere. So even if you have even if you have read this concept a long time back and you not remembering more of the things of this topic, you can revise and read and learn in the theory part. And here the terms related with this topic is explained, like sphere, diameter, volume, radius. And in the next step, the procedure, like if you conduct this experiment of finding the volume of a sphere using material which is available in our surrounding physical materials, the procedure is written here, as well as if you perform this experiment on the simulator, the procedure also written here. So on the third tab, animation means through video how you can conduct this experiment is explained, so that before conduct you go through and seamlessly can perform on your own using simulator. So let's go on the third tab, which is simulator. So viewer, we are on the simulator page. You can see the topic it is showing and the prerequisite knowledge you required. So we required knowledge of a cylinder, volume of a cylinder which is pi r square, and we are going to experiment how the volume is 4/3 pi r cube. So let's start. You will see a work page and on your right side instructions. So viewers, you have to just follow the instructions to perform these experiments. So my instruction is saying generate a sphere of diameter 2r and 2 cylinders of height 2r each. Use checkboxes in the toolbox to generate a sphere and 2 cylinders. So guys, let's click on generate sphere. So here we can see a sphere of diameter 2r is generated. Now we'll click on the generate cylinder checkbox. So we got 2 cylinders of same height as the diameter of the sphere, which is 2r. So the next, they are saying click on the next button. Here we can see it is asking me to click on the jug to fill the hollow sphere completely with the sand. So let's click on the jug. Here we can see the jug has started pouring the sand and filling this sphere completely with the sand. And our next instruction is the sphere is now completely filled with sand. Now pour the sand from the sphere into the left cylinder. So what I need to do is just select and drag the sphere on the left cylinder and click. So can you see how it start pouring the sand in the cylinder? Oh, nice. The one filling of sphere with the sand can be able to fill this cylinder 3/4. So now it is again asking me to click the jug and refill this sphere again with the sand. So guys, again we will pour this out, the sand into the cylinders, into the right cylinder. I'll just click and drag this on the right side cylinder. And it has started pouring out the sand into the right side cylinder. And you all can observe that both the cylinder are 3/4 filled with the sand. So there is a scope that I can again put some more sand in these two cylinders. So what I can do, I can again click on the jug and refill this sphere, and then I'll again try to fill these two cylinders fully, completely with the sand. Again we'll drag and pour the sand to fill this completely. So guys, we can see my left hand side cylinder is completely filled, and I'm seeing my sphere is half filled with the sand, and I would like to again pour this left out sand in the right side cylinder and filled it completely with the sand. So in 3 times, in 3 fillings, my 2 cylinders are completely filled. So let's click on the next button, and here we can conclude, or we just saw that the 3 times filling of the sphere can fill 2 cylinders of same height as of the diameter of the sphere. So we knew that the volume of a cylinder was pi r square h, and we know h is again 2r, as same as the diameter of the sphere. So on calculating, we could see the 4/3 and pi into r cube is the volume. So through this experiment, we could conclude what it really means by 4/3 pi r cube, the volume of a sphere. So viewer, this way you can experience virtually the maths experience, and you can experience other very important mathematics experience in your life. And if I say, as a teacher, if I am to perform this experiment to my student of class 20 or 30, what kind of material I would require, like finding 2 cylinders of same height as the diameter of a sphere, or suppose even if I am able to collect such material, how I'll be able to perform with class of 20 or 30 students to tackle such kinds of obstacle or challenges or problem. Virtual labs really strengthen the teacher or any learner to enhance their learning, to think deeply, and to learn at their pace, at their availability of time or resources or their interest. Virtual lab helps you a lot in this way. I would request you to perform physically also and virtually also the same experiments and share your experience in the comment box. So thank you, viewer. Now I would request you, my colleague, to Ms. Prayakshi Gupta, to share English laboratory virtual experiments with you. Over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Pinky. Good evening and a warm welcome to all the viewers watching the live session. Today I will be focusing on English content available on virtual labs on DIKSHA. As language teachers, when we are teaching in our class, we often find students struggling with basic language skills, particularly grammar. And as language teachers, we also need to ensure that students use proper syntax, correct sentence structure, and have contextual accuracy. So virtual labs on DIKSHA acts as a catalyst in recreating these concepts into something simpler so that it can ensure delivery of quality content and assures competence of language among students. So dear viewers, today I'm going to demonstrate the concept of subject-verb agreement on virtual labs on DIKSHA. Let's see this concept here. So as you can see, all the class-wise concepts listed here. So today we will be focusing on grade 9th. As you can see that when we click on explore, we have the two drop-down menu as Hindi and English. I'm going to click on English medium. And then there's bifurcation of English medium into maths, science and English. So we are going to go to English. And now you can see that on the left hand side, we have the slide stating the activity title. And on the right hand side, we have the table of content, which has the activities listed ranging from concepts, which include subject-verb agreement, direct-indirect speech activity, reported speech activity, and letter correction. So dear viewers, today we'll be focusing on the first activity. As you can see, when I hover my cursor at the bottom of the slide, I can see that there's a link that is visible on the screen. So I'm going to click on subject-verb agreement, and here I am redirected to the online labs page. And you can see different tabs which range from theory, procedure, lab, viva voce, references, and feedback. I will be explaining in detail those tabs step by step. In theory part, you can see how subject-verb agreement is explained, and we all know that students often make common grammar mistakes based on which form of the verb, whether singular or plural, so which form of the verb should be used with which subject. So the entire list of rules is given here, ranging from, so the first rule is based on collective noun, how we should use the singular form of the verb. And the second rule states how when two singular subjects are connected by either or neither nor, we require a singular verb. And with each rule, you can see that there are examples given along with exceptions. Similarly, rule number 3 states how the verb in an or, either or neither nor sentence agrees with the noun or pronoun closest to it. This is where major students make errors. And then we have number of rules here, which when you as a learner or teacher, when you are exploring it, you will be able to read the entire rule list here. So without further ado, I'm going to directly move to the procedure of this experiment. When I click on procedure, you can see a list of instructions here with the screenshot directly from the experiment, so that it is easier for you to perform the experiment when you are practicing the activity. So as you can see, the first instruction states that you have to click on the appropriate words to identify the subject. You can see that there is a sentence given with each word highlighted. So the first sentence is either you or he, is or are mistaken. And the step is stating that you have to select the subjects in the sentence. So there can be one or more subjects in the sentence. You have to choose it accordingly so that it is easier for you to select the verb corresponding to the subject as per subject-verb agreement. Now here comes the feedback as well. So you can see that there's a tab and there are 3 anchors here. One is the wrong answer, second is partially correct answer, third is correct answer. And the colors are divided from red, yellow and green. So if your answer is completely wrong, the red tab blinks. If it is partially correct, the yellow tab blinks. And if it is completely correct, then your green tab blinks. Now sometimes what happens is that we often go through a particular concept, its theory, but sometimes it is not clear at the first go. So in case you find any difficulty while performing the activity, you can click on hint icon for help and practice it at your pace. Then there is step 2 for this activity, where you have to identify whether the subject is singular or plural. Then you have to click on next step. Then at the end, you have to select the appropriate verb by clicking on the drop down and selecting the correct one. So that was about the procedure on how to perform this activity. Now I'll directly move to lab. When I click on lab, you can see it says welcome to the English lab, the exercise name, subject verb agreement, along with the description that states this lab contains interactive exercises for subject verb agreement. So I'm going to click on start. It asks for name or ID. Sorry. Yes. So here we are. So you can see on my screen a sentence that is given to us. On top, instructions, theory and hints. And on the right hand side, you can see an interesting remote like structure with wrong answer, partially correct answer and correct answer, which I have already explained how it will look like during while explaining the procedure. So if I click on instructions, I get the set of bullet points where you have to click on appropriate words to identify the subject. If you get the subject correct, you will click next step for the second step. You will identify whether the subject is singular or plural and click next step. After that, you will choose the correct form of the verb according to subject-verb agreement. If you get the subject-verb agreement correct, click next sentence for the next sentence. So I'm going to click on I am ready and begin with the activity. Plus, if you want to recapitulate the concept and go back to it, you can click on theory here. It will again give you the set of rules that are required for subject-verb agreement. You can scroll down and have a look at it again to revise the concept. Now here it says select the subjects in the sentence. The sentence here on my screen is the horse and carriage is oblique are at the door, full stop. So I'll click on horse, it gets highlighted. Carriage is also a subject here. I'm going to click on it and I'll click on submit. Now you can see how on that remote like structure the green signal for correct answer is blinking, which means my answer is correct. If I need hints, I'll click on hints and it says there are two subjects in this sentence. I'll click next. It says identify if the horse and carriage clause is singular or plural. Let me click on singular. And now my answer is correct. I'll click on next step. Now it says choose the appropriate verb in the sentence. So earlier I had mentioned singular. I'll just show you how an incorrect answer appears like on the remote. So if I click on R, click on submit, you see how the red light is blinking. I'll go back, click on is, click on submit, and now the remote shows me the green signal for the correct answer. I'll click on next sentence and again I get another sentence here. Now I'll show how partially correct answer appears. So it says select the subjects in the sentence. If I click on ship and directly click on submit, it says partially correct and automatically it gives me the feedback with the description that the selected word is the part of the subject and the remedy is select complete subject from the sentence. So like this, you have a couple of sentences that you can practice. You have the Viva Voce here, where you can perform the MCQ quiz, click on submit, and you will know where your performance lies. So that was about it for English. And as we saw, simulated methods of teaching help in developing confidence in the student, as it gives them the autonomy to perform these experiments or activities at their own pace. Plus, these activities provide a link between theory and practice. And as we can see, that immediate feedback through positive reinforcement provides extrinsic motivation to the students and also develops their interest towards the concept. And we know that learning is no longer restricted to brick and mortar classrooms. And now students have the opportunity to learn from anywhere. And as language teachers, what we often do is we resort to pen and paper method and give our students n number of worksheets, which often become monotonous and leads to disinterestedness sometimes. A good language activity is one that ensures clarity of concepts and provides an enriching learning experience. Virtual labs on DIKSHA offers a great experience to students to explore and practice curriculum-based concepts in an engaging manner. That was about it from my side. Thank you very much. You can practice and explore more concepts on virtual labs on DIKSHA. Over to my colleague, Ms. Nidhi Adlakha. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining this session. Your presence makes the session successful, and we hope that you must have found this session helpful. I can see that in the comment box that many of you have found this session helpful, informative. I hope that others will also go through virtual labs and will find that how virtual labs can prove useful to them. We are going to meet you in another session. Till then, keep learning, keep practicing to make teaching learning process impactful and interesting. Namaskar.